Hello, this is Jessica with On a Stack of Books, and today I'm going to be doing the book tag, the 10 Untouched book tags. This was originally created by Rainier Books, and it is a tag that only has one prompt. All you have to do is collect 10 books off of your shelves that has been sitting there for at least a year. I think we all have that, and then some. So I collected 10 books that have been on my shelves for at least a year, and I am going to present them in no particular order other than they've been sitting there a while and I want to read them. So the first one is the Preston and Child Still Life with Crows. This is the third book in the Pendergast novel series. It goes Relic, Reliquary, and then Still Life with Crows. And I really, for some reason, out of all of them, this one, I don't know the cover, the title, it kind of grabbed me, but I did want to reread Relic this year, and so it's the perfect time, opportunity. It's up there. I'll get it. Read Relic, maybe Reliquary, and then read the third one and kind of get back into the series because I really enjoyed this, but I want to get, in the mindset of it. So I don't know why I've waited so long to keep going back and finish this series, but I have a lot of his books sitting on my shelf. So that's one. The second one is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ning. And this has been on my shelf. I grabbed it in a thrift store a long time ago, and the synopsis just sounded really interesting to me. It's basically a community, a neighborhood where everything seems perfect, appears perfect, and a new single mom moves into the neighborhood and sort of throws a monkey wrench in all of that. And there's secrets and lies and trying to figure out people's history and past, and it just seemed like a cozy sort of mystery, a cozy sort of thing. And the picture on the front, you picture your own neighborhood, and when stuff's happening and you're kind of like, oh, what's that person, who, what are they doing? And it's sort of that cozy mystery. And I don't know why it's always, I go to my shelf and I always look at it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to read that. And for whatever reason, I haven't, but I really want to read it. So this has been there for a long time. The next one is Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. So had this forever, watched the Hulu series, and that was really horrifying, and then that made me want to read the book even more, because it was horrifying because it is this slippery slope of the government controlling for your own good, and how that can be relevant today when this was written in like when was this published? 1986. And it's just, yes. So if you are unfamiliar with the story, it is basically that people are widely infertile. And so the few people that are still fertile, the women that can have babies, they become the handmaids, and the people that are in power are making these choices for the greater good, or the good of all, and the greater good. So it's understandably a very scary concept, and but I thought, oh, the book will be better, and I just haven't read it yet, but the show was a lot. It was a lot. So, Handmaid's Tale. Number 4, Truman Capote in Cold Blood. This is, it's a true crime murder mystery, and I absolutely love falling asleep to the true crime, and so this is in the format of a book, and This is the Clutter family, savagely murdered in 1959, and this is Truman Capote's book, and I have been wanting to read it for a very long time. Again, these are all great books, I think. Okay, the next one. This is W.M. Paul Young, Eve, and this is the same author as The Shack, and this is sort of the a twist on the creation story with Adam and Eve and where we came from, and touches on men and women as far as equality and where we started from, and how we were made, or the intention, and so. But then there's a twist to it, because it's a shipping container washes ashore on an island between our world and the next. John, the collector, finds a young woman inside, broken, frozen, and barely alive. With the aid of healers and scholars, John oversees her recovery and soon discovers that her genetic code connects her to every known race. No one would guess what her survival will mean. No one but Eve, mother of the living, who calls her daughter and invites her to witness the truth about her story. Indeed, the truth about us all. I really enjoyed The Shack. And then also just it just sounds interesting. And so I picked it up. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Okay. And now we are on to 5. Anything of Michael Pollan's I will read, I love. And I ordered, it's probably been 2 years ago, on Facebook Marketplace, I ordered about 5 books of his that I did not have. And it was just like one of those impulse buys where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have these books. I can't believe I don't have these books. And I bought them. And I haven't read through them all. And so I picked this one for this out of, like, if this was going to be the next one that I read of his. I just love his writing style. I love what he writes about. They are primarily nutrition books, but it is a natural history of transformation, and he uses the 4 forms, or the 4 classic elements of fire, water, earth, and air, to transform the stuff of nature into delicious things to eat and drink. Apprenticing himself to a succession of culinary masters, Pollan learns how to grill with fire, cook with liquid, bake bread, and ferment everything from cheese to beer, while the reader learns right alongside him. I always go into reading his books with the intention of taking it slow, taking my time, not rushing, because I always feel like I'm going to learn something. And I always just love how he writes and how he presents it. And so food is one of those things where, to me, it is your medicine. So if you are intentional about your eating and what you eat, it's amazing, and it keeps you healthy. It's your fuel. But there is something healing about food, and there is something, the only way I can describe it is that, like, somebody could cook something for you, but when your mom makes it for you and gives it to you when you're not feeling good, you feel that love, you ingest that love. When a loved one makes it for you, cooks it for you, when you feed your family and you watch them and they enjoy the food, there is something so healing about that. And so he's written about other things other than nutrition, but I do love his nutrition books so much. So this would be the next one that I read. I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but again, I do like to take my time with his books for sure. So next one is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This is one of those ones where I felt like I saw this book everywhere, everybody was talking about it. I haven't read it. I hadn't read any of his stuff, and I did get a couple of books, and I did read Looking for Alaska. It was not what I expected it to be, but I enjoyed it. It was but this one, for some reason, I just felt like I have to read this book. I don't know. and I'm sure everybody's read it, but you know, somebody has a terminal illness, and then I think there's some relationship. I do believe it's like a YA book. But I don't know why I've always felt drawn to it. I was like, I have to read that book. And then I got it and I didn't read it. So I don't know what I'm waiting for. The next one is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. I got this at a thrift store and I was super excited when I saw it because I was like, oh my gosh, I know this. This is this woman. They took her cells without telling her, without paying her, and they, you know, made tons of money off of her, and then they learned so much from her. And so she's this poor black tobacco farmer whose cells, taken without her knowledge in 1951, became one of the most important tools in medicine, vital for developing the polio vaccine, cloning, gene mapping, and more. So I knew about this story and was super excited, and then it sat on my shelf. But I am going to get to it because I think it would be amazing. Okay. Number 10, the last one, is Stephen King. Now this one has 4, The Shining, Salem's Lot, Night Shift, and Carrie. I'm focusing on The Shining. I am going to read this in October, and I can't believe it, but that's going to be my first Stephen King book. So yeah, she's like, I've had this forever. It's been sitting on my shelf, and I've watched all of Stephen King's movies, and my parents read Stephen King when I was a kid, so they were in the house, and I have all my parents' books. I don't know how I have not read his books yet, but The Shining is going to be the first one, and then I will probably read through these, but I think I'm going to stick with the classics, or not the classics, his original writings, yeah. So The Shining is going to be this October. I'm very excited to read that, and I'm very excited to read Stephen King for the first time. So that is the 10 books off of my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought I could count to 10. While I was editing, I realized I had 9 books, not 10 books. So in my effort to narrow down the pile and create 10, I left off 1. So here it is. It is The Scent Keeper by Rebecca Bauermeister. Again, like all my books, I picked this up in a little free library or a thrift store, but this one was a little free library. And I was immediately drawn to it because it's The Scent Keeper. And my youngest daughter is huge on smell. She will smell everything. Smell is a huge part of how she feels comfortable, how, you know, she determines if she likes something or not. So that was the original reason why I picked it up. But this is the main character, Emmeline. She lives with her father on a remote island, and, you know, he teaches her about nature, but he has this collection of these jars that have scents in them, and he won't explain why he has them or how he got them, or there's like a machine that creates them or something. And so it's sort of, I don't know if it's sort of like a little bit of fantasy, but it kind of goes through, like, she becomes curious and then she goes into this other world to figure out about the scents. But I think we all can relate to the fact that scent is one of the strongest memory senses, tied to memories, where you can smell something and it immediately takes you to a memory, good or bad. And so I have been wanting to read this because I think it will be very interesting, but also just because it makes me think of my daughter. And when I was pregnant with her, smells were a huge thing. Where in my first pregnancy, smells didn't bother me like some pregnant women. I was fine with it. But good and bad, smells were a big thing when I was pregnant with her, and she's huge about scents. So that's why I picked this book. All right, so this is number 10. I don't know how I missed it, but while I was editing, I was like, I counted and recounted and recounted, and I was like, how did I do that? Yep, 10 books. All right, so thank you for watching, And until next time, I'll be reading.